Okay. Good day. Happy Saturday, everybody, or Sunday, whenever you're watching this. Oh my gosh, so much happened this week. I could not cram all this stuff in, but I'm gonna do my best. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This week has been this week has been a whirlwind, and I am so grateful. I am so grateful. But let's start with how the week started. I know I talk about my dad quite often. I lost him about 5 or 6 years ago. He passed away. And that was a very challenging time. And, grief is grief. It's never easy. It is never, ever, I don't care what people say. I don't care how close you are to your father. I don't care how distant you are from your father. Like, when you lose a parent, yeah. But anyway, um, I, one of the people not on my team directly, but within the department, somebody that I obviously work with frequently, lost her father unexpectedly. And obviously, because of that, having to kind of go back and do workloads and review, how things are going to have to go because the business itself still has to move, the department still has to run. And so we had a leadership call because, we were making some changes and system upgrades and all this other stuff. And so we had a leadership conversation about this person. And we started to go into the details of what happened and how it happened and how he looked. And I felt triggered. I lost my dad about 6 years ago. And I'm not going to just say I felt triggered. I was triggered. And I felt myself feeling grief all over again. Even though I knew we were about to have a leadership conversation, I knew this topic was going to come up. I did not know we were going to go into the details about what happened and why and how he looked and how she's feeling. And I was okay for a second, but then we started to talk about how her family is kind of upset and frustrated because some of them are finding out via Facebook. And I'm just like, this just happened like a day ago. Like, oh my gosh. And you guys are upset and frustrated because you're finding out on Facebook. And it triggered me and how when something like that happens, like people feel like you should call them, like they feel like you need to put your grief aside so that you can talk to them and kind of tell them how it happened and what's going on. And I'm just like, what they don't understand is every time you retell that story, you're reliving those emotions. And so you're up and down, up and down, up and down. And it is not fair to the person that is grieving. And so when she's brought that up, again, I thought about my own journey and it triggered me. But what I loved about myself in that moment is I was like, oh, wait a second. I am being triggered. Let me disconnect and disassociate from this conversation. Not in a disrespectful way, but they could easily see that the version of Jimmy that's at work shifted. I was on camera, so I wasn't trying to hide anything, but I immediately got back into work. Um, and I was just like, because I'm being triggered. And so I don't want these emotions to flare up. I also don't want to get upset and frustrated. I also am not trying to control the conversation because it still needs to be had. But what I'm proud of myself about is I was able to put up my boundary. I was able to say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm being triggered in this moment. And right now, you all, as my leaders, as my co-worker, you're pushing up against this boundary. And I don't want this to come out at work. In fact, it's not. So I was able to kind of do work and again, so proud of myself. And they were not upset. They were not frustrated with me at all. And I later on shared it with my coworker as to what was going on. And she was just like, I am so sorry. And I'm just like, oh no, there's nothing to be sorry about because you didn't do it intentionally. But I had to self-soothe in that moment. And so, yeah, but I was super proud of myself for doing that. I'm glad that the week started out that way because the rest of the week, work wise, was chaotic. Again, we have multiple people out, system upgrades, and like it was just so much happening. Like the tension was there from the upper management to the middle management to the employees. Like tension, high tension was there like crazy. And one thing that just kept like recycling in my mind was just like, Jimmy, like carry what's yours and everything else, drop it. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to fix them or fix that or do that. Carry what's yours and drop everything else. You don't have the capacity for this, and don't try to make up the capacity for this. And that was like another thing that just kept cycling through my mind is the same along the same lines in regards to leadership. And I'm just like, leadership is not about trying to control and fix everything. It's not about like, it's not that you never get frustrated with leadership or in leadership. It's ensuring that that frustration is not driving your decisions. And so I was just like, okay, cool. Got it. That thing right there ain't mine to hold. Got it. That's your problem. That's a design flaw. I'm not dealing with that. Nope. I've shared my thoughts with you. I've shared my opinions with you. I have given you my feedback multiple times. And you're constantly showing me and you're telling me what you want to do, but your actions say otherwise. And so I'm not trying to control you. I'm not going to get frustrated by you anymore. And more importantly, when I do, or if I do, I'm not going to allow it to drive my decision. My job is to do my job. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm going to carry what's mine and everything else. Return to sender. I just returned some shoes yesterday. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. It was so much going on. It was so much chaos this week that it actually got me thinking about a new book title. Or a new book title, or even maybe a new chapter in my next book. And it's about ensuring that joy has a seat at the table. We always talk about that, especially in leadership. And you're climbing the corporate ladder and you're making the money. You got the respect. You got the attention. You can make the decisions. You got a seat at the table, and you're running a department, or you're running. We'll say you're running a department. You're running a section of the organization. Like, you got a seat at the table. Where is joy in all of that? Outside of your ambition. And so that kind of popped in my head, I think Thursday of this week, Wednesday or Thursday of this week. And I was just like, oh, okay, I got it. We go through things as children, we go through things as adults, and oftentimes we go through therapy. Yay, shout out to therapy. You go through therapy to try to work through these things. And oftentimes we hear people say, I gotta heal from my trauma, I gotta heal from this, and I gotta heal. No, actually, I don't think that is the purpose of therapy. I think at the end of the day, I think therapy is there to teach you, like when you are triggered, just simply how to handle those triggers. How, because you're never gonna not be triggered. I think that therapy is there to help you through your triggers so that you can manage them a little bit better. And the most important part, I think, of therapy's role is, going back to where I'm going with this, is enjoying or ensuring that when joy shows up in your life, you have a relationship with it, that you don't abandon it, you don't disregard it. You built all of these things. You built this life. You built this legacy. You might as well be having joy within it, Jimmy. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what do you do? Do you find joy and know it when you see it? Be comfortable with it. Be at peace when it shows up. Don't run from it just because you have an extra hour or 2 hours of silence and you think, I got to feel this moment. I got to be productive. No, baby. Jimmy, you don't. You can enjoy this moment. And speaking of joy, my husband and I, we do date nights every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we did no different this week. And we enjoyed date night. Was fine. Was great. We cooked and played some games. And it's honestly got me to thinking. I think Sunday the lights went out, and so they were out for a few hours. And instead, we just played some not video games but board games. And so I enjoyed that with him. And so last night was something that happened that rarely, in fact, it has never happened in our adult life. But we were watching Amazon, and he just out of nowhere put it on some old nostalgic 90s and early 2000 music videos. And the conversation that came out of that, thinking about like our parents' music and thinking about our music and thinking about our siblings' music, like those videos, baby, they were something serious. Like those artists were something, most of them could actually sing. Like, and we were having all these conversations and these nostalgic moments about who we are. And like, we grew up drastically differently. Like, we really grew up differently. Like, what our style was then versus now, like, it was different. And it was so much joy and pleasure that we looked up and it was 1 o'clock in the morning of just sitting there enjoying music and company with each other. And so I cannot describe it, but when you are, or when you make sure and prioritize joy, having a seat at the table, when those moments show up, like you don't take them for granted, right? Like you experience them, you sit with them, you sit with them. And so, yeah, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful. I am so blessed and grateful. Um, just and honestly, I owe it all to my mother, and for raising a human being, a good human being. I was listening to Lauryn Hill's speech from the BET Awards, and she was talking about how fortunate she was to have the parents that she had growing up, and she realized that not everybody had that luxury. And she was like, I appreciate them for how they raised me. And my gift is to be able to share that gift with other people. For those people that did not have as fortunate parents or upbringing. And I'm just like, I'm one of those. I don't shy away from it. I don't hide where I've come from. I know that I had a dang on good mother. I still have a damn good mother. And I'm like, she prioritized teaching me about life, yes, business and finances. Like she taught me what she knew, but she built the foundation to ensure that we were good human beings, never knowing that I would be able to utilize this and build a career around it, write books about it, enjoy my life, and be able to speak, be able to accept the praise, be able to accept the feedback and or criticism when it happens, but never once getting rid of my foundation of just being a good human being. And so I love it. 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 And I thank my mother so very much for that. It even gave me some additional insight. In fact, I just did it today. My sister needed some assistance, and I am so glad and grateful that I'm in a position to be able to assist. And I went out, took care of that. And I'm just like, I am blessed. Like I was having some jokes and fun, like laughter with myself, like, cause it's on the other side of town. And so I'm like, I'm driving home and I'm just like, you know what the hell? I'm going to have some more fun. So I went out, let me go buy a lottery ticket. Well, like, what else is there to do? Like, Jimmy, I'm like, I got a slight headache, slight hangover. I'm like, dude, I'm over 40. I've stayed up till over 1 o'clock in the morning listening to music. Like, who does that at 40? Drinking whiskey with my husband. And like, who does that? To get up early in the morning to go help your sister. And I'm just like, and then finding the joy in all of this. What the hell? Like, I'm on my way home. What the hell? I might as well stop off and get a lottery ticket. When I win, whoo, that would be a whole new, oh my goodness. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later when it happens. We'll talk. We'll talk. But anyway, that's been my week in a nutshell, and I'm so excited about this upcoming book and or chapter. I really cannot wait to get these thoughts flushed out in regards to the title or either the chapter being around ensuring that joy has a seat at the table. I have no idea how that's going to go. I have no idea what it's going to look like and how it's going to manifest, but the idea of it brings me joy. And I cannot wait to flush out these ideas, this creativity, and share it with the world. So, anyway, that's my week. I hope you had an awesome week as well. And if anything, don't fret. We're in this together because we too, together, are still becoming. I'll see you guys next week. Alrighty. Bye.